Indianapolis, Washington, as the Packers seek their 8th win in the last 11 meetings. Meanwhile, Washington can win for the 3rd time in the last 4 matchups. It's Week 7, only on EA Sports.
Historic Lambeau Field. Fittingly, it butts up against Lombardi Avenue here in the heart of Green Bay, Wisconsin. No team means more to a city than the Packers to Green Bay, and this was the scene a few moments ago as the green and gold made their way out of the historic tunnel. They're ready to go as they get set to match up with the Washington football team. Brandon Gaudin alongside my partner, Charles Davis. CD, you're an old-school guy, and I know you've got to love our matchup here. 2 teams that get after it the old-fashioned way, on the ground.
I love it. You know I love that type of football. You've known me for a while now. We've got the #1 and #2 rushing offense in the entire NFL matching up. Now, don't be fooled. Both of these teams can and will throw the ball in this one. They certainly love playing that game of field position, working between the tackles, chewing up time of possession. And they've each got a main man who's among the best in the league at toting the rock.
Getting toward the halfway point of the NFL season. Week 7 is underway on EA Sports. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. So out comes the Washington offense onto the field. They'll be led out by their 4th-year man from Houston. It's Kyle Allen.
And he ought to have a lot of pep in his step after last week's performance because he did exactly as you want him to play if you're a coach. 3 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, which usually means you're making a lot of right decisions out there.
And got him the win. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
Let's go.
You can script and diagram plays all you want, but no one really envisions something like that happening this early in the game. How about that run to get things started? Didn't he win NFC Player of the Week last week?
Yeah, he was on fire a week ago, and what a start to this one.
He had no sign of him cooling down at all.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. On 1st down, right back to Gibson. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
So the 1st down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. A handoff for Gibson. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. After getting stuffed on 1st down, not much better there. 2-yard gain. So this game of ours, Charles, you know, the talk of the NFL world all week. 2 unbeaten teams. You rarely see such a matchup this deep into a season.
I would agree with that because normally you might get one team undefeated for a while, but 2 teams like this, and I remember in preseason you looked at schedules and said, I think these 2 are on a collision course. It'll be interesting to see if they actually get there, and they did. And to me, the winner of this game has to wear the crown of Super Bowl favorite.
And early on, they're picking up right where they left off last week.
And I know a lot of coaches say each game is its own. You don't really have carryover. This feels like carryover. So much confidence from the previous game that they're using to their advantage now.
So into Packer territory now. Here's 1st and 10, right at the 40. Gibson here running out of the gun. And a pretty good run there as he gets 7 down to the 33. The numbers on the ground for Gibson a week ago, just downright unbelievable. I mean, when you amass that many yards, I don't know what else to say.
Personally, I thought it was a game for the ages for him. Ripped off some long runs in that contest, didn't he?
He did indeed. Some very long runs, and that total, scary. Working with a 2nd and 3. And here's a give to Gibson. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line.
Antonio Gibson is an absolute dart with the ball in his hands, and he can make you miss, and he can run over you. Took a little while to crack the starting lineup as a rookie, but boy, was he sensational when he did. Went for 115 yards and 3 scores in a Thanksgiving Day clobbering of the Dallas Cowboys. At Washington, they felt like they had a real find when they took him in the 3rd round last year, number 66 overall, and he justified their decision.
44 yards rushing for him now on just 6 carries to this point. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script, you go through your play calling, you go through all the stuff and establish things, and it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. Now Gibson. And this carry terminated at the 8-yard line. Good stick skill showing the power, but just not much room to operate. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5. A run here for J.D. McKissic. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play there. Now it'll be 3rd down. But keep in mind, if you're thinking of staying on the ground, this is a top 5 rush defense.
Yeah, but I don't think you shy away totally with the run. At least show them the hint of a run before you decide to throw the football.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
But they took the shot, didn't get it. There's definitely a difference here because they had a chance to get 7, maybe 8 if they pushed it. Instead, they'll likely settle for 3.
Yeah, opening drive, holding them to 3, psychologically, maybe a win for the defense. And it bangs off the right upright, no good. And this will remain a scoreless game. Well, that opening drive looked good for a moment there, but they'll wind up being turned away thanks to the missed field goal.
And those especially hurt when you come into a game on the road. You're trying to get things to go your way early, and now you suffer a setback right out of the gate.
The Green Bay offense ready to take over. And this ball game, clearly the game of the year so far. It's not very often that you find 2 unbeaten teams playing each other this late in the season, but that's what we have here, 2 heavyweights in the NFL.
You're right about that, and you think about recent memories, so let's take a little ginkgo right now and go down memory lane, right? 2007, 7-0 Colts, 8-0 Patriots. The Pats won 24-20. They ended up going 16-0 in the regular season before they lost in the Super Bowl against the Giants. How about 2015? 6-0 Broncos, 6-0 Packers. Denver won 29-10. And in 2020, Steelers and...
That's into a crowd and intercepted. Picked off by Cameron Curl. So a first interception thrown for him there, and that really not the best decision either.
Not at all, and that's something he did not do in their victory last week. No interceptions in that game, but this defense, they're able to take advantage of an early mistake. Now let's see if they're going to turn it into points.
Antonio Gibson and the Washington offense ready to go here once more. Man, those numbers from last week, what do you call a game like that? Monumental? A career game?
Yeah, every one of those adjectives you can pull up. Monumental, mammoth, massive. But you also know that he wants another one just like it in this game. He doesn't plan on slowing down.
Man, if he duplicates that, that would be history. And he is into the end zone for a Washington touchdown. Antonio Gibson, his 21st touchdown of the season. And Washington has taken a first quarter lead. A solid blocking up front from the guys on the offensive line allowed him to get in for the touchdown.
Yeah, some might say that the guys on the offensive line were in concert. I used to have a coach who called it marrying up, meaning when you get on a guy, you just stay right there. Each guy has his own assignment. That allowed the runner to make the big move towards the end zone.
Extra point by Sly is up and good, and it's now a 7-0 game. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Now the return. Here comes Randall Cobb. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. Number 12 back out there. Aaron and his Packer teammates set to begin their drive. And he'll look to rebound from the early interception that led to 6 points the other way.
And when he threw the interception and he had to come to the sideline, I guarantee his first thought wasn't about the interception itself, but what could result. And I know he was thinking to himself, come on, defense, bail me out. Well, they weren't able to in this situation. Now he's got to go out and atone for it himself, but he can't force things.
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. I tell you what, CD, this Washington defense, very strong in the victory last week.
And I'm eager to see the game plan and trying to attack them this week, because when you take it away 4 times through interceptions, what do you do now when you go into a game? Do you decide you can't throw the ball? Do you try and run it more? Or do you tell your quarterback, make sure you see your guys open before you deliver?
Second down, another shot for Jones. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. After 7-0 on EA Sports. Back for the second quarter in Green Bay. It's the Packers in possession of the football as they've got it with a third down coming up. Now it's Rodgers. And a throw there going to be incomplete.
That looks like it's going to be 2 empty possessions now to start this football game. I think they're going to have to sit down and talk about what worked for them last week in their win. Sometimes you over-game plan, overthink things. Get back to what works.
Now it appears we're going to get whistles and a stop. A man down on the return. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. And they'll run here with Gibson. Oh, he bowls over him. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Yeah, that wasn't a big run, just a short one there. But guess what? Sometimes you treat it like boxing. You throw that jab out there, and you throw it again, you throw it again, then you come with a big punch later. Maybe they're just trying to set them up.
A 1-yard gain there following the 3-yard pickup on first down.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature at the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
Throwing is Allen on 3rd. And that nearly intercepted. Boy, for a guy known for his hands defensively, that's a ball he probably thinks he should have come up with. And instead, it's 4th down. So look at this. Here's the field goal unit coming out. And he is going to need to bomb this one. Oh, look at this. A flip to the kicker. He's going to try to run for it. They try to fake field goal. It doesn't work out. And that will force a turnover on downs. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. Not only are they in search of their first score, they're in search of their first down in this ball game as they come up 1st and 10. On play action, now Rodgers. A throw complete to the tight end, Tunyon. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. Rodgers with a give. It's Aaron Jones. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
Now that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater, he just made a great play there.
An extra man here in the secondary for Washington on 3rd down. Throwing is Rodgers. And it's complete to Adams. And finally down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. A big connection on that one. 38 yards.
And that might be exactly what they needed to wake up this home crowd. They haven't given them much to cheer for so far. And never underestimate the effect the home crowd with you can have on a game.
And he's going to be taken down, sacked back around the 18-yard line. Chase Young, what a season he continues to have, his 15th sack of the campaign.
This young man, Chase Young, has it all. Speed, power, and a full arsenal of moves to get to the quarterback. The Defensive Rookie of the Year in 2020, he had 7.5 sacks that season. They expect plenty more in the future.
1st down, a bit of a disaster, and now on 2nd and goal, back even further. That's a jet sweep. This is Adams. It'll be a gain of 4, but it'll bring us now to a 3rd and goal.
It's a bit of a dangerous part of the field for them to break into their bag of tricks, but for a minute there, I thought it was going to set up perfectly for them. Instead, they don't get into the end zone, but they do pick up positive yardage.
Now here's a look for the end zone, but that one's going to wind up incomplete. 2nd quarter action with 1:59 remaining. So now on 4th down, Rodgers will give way to Mason Crosby for the field goal try. And Crosby puts it through. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So 3 drives now for this offense, and that field goal gives them their first 3 points.
So if you're an offensive coordinator and you're averaging a point a drive, you're in the wrong line of work, aren't you? You got to find a way to unlock the key to these defenses and put some big points on the board.
This one taken just inside the 10. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. Antonio Gibson and the Washington offense ready to go here once more. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated, because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. 70 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
Get ready, get ready, get ready.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll run. It's Gibson. Nifty footwork at the 45. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Now after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. We'll check on his status when we get back. On 1st and 10, it's Gibson. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Well, sometimes as a running back, you've got to be able to improvise when the hole's not where you expect it to be. But in this case, there wasn't any improvisation that he could do that was going to work.
Down the numbers. There he goes. Touchdown, Washington. Antonio Gibson. Touchdown number 22 on the season. And Washington is able to stretch their lead. Just a terrific run there, Charles, from a running back who is so compact and powerful, and that strength was on display there.
Yeah, this is a guy who runs with such balance and control. I mean, he went through that early contact just like he was driving over a speed bump, and he's able to continue his way downfield and wind up in the end zone.
And you can see the distance traveled there after the initial contact on the next-gen stats. Slide for the PAT. And this one's right through to make it a 14-3 ball game. So the drive there, 5 plays, 80 yards. And the last play, a really nice run that culminated in the touchdown. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Here comes Cobb. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line. Aaron Rodgers, he's getting ready to go again here on offense. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always tell you, don't press. You'll make things a little bit worse. But in this particular situation, you try and heighten your play a little bit. So far, he's thrown 1 interception. He wants to balance that off with at least 1 touchdown pass in order to get his team back moving forward.
A check down here to Jones. So able to break through the initial contact and then down right near the 25. So we have come upon halftime, and it's the visiting group from Washington who are out on top. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. A lot to get to here as some of the division races starting to take shape as we look around the NFL here in week number 7. We'll begin up north at MetLife Stadium over in New Jersey. And they have just about gone to halftime with the Panthers out on top. The Panthers trying to gut this one out as it would be a good victory for them if they could get it. From there, let's get down to Baltimore to check in on the Ravens at home at M&T Bank Stadium. And for the moment, they find themselves trailing the visiting Cincinnati Bengals. T. Higgins, a touchdown reception. Lastly, we head to Gillette Stadium in Foxborough to check on the Patriots. And it's the visiting Jets who have the lead in that one. The rookie Zach Wilson with 3 touchdown passes. On now to a look at the next-gen stats in that first half for Washington. And they've had their way running the football, well over 100 yards already as a team with 2 more quarters to come. Meanwhile, for the Packers, there's a look at what they were able to do throwing the football. And they'll need to get things in gear as they trail here at the break. These 2 teams going through their final adjustments. It's about time for the second half in Green Bay. So for the call, we go back up to Lambeau and Brandon Gott.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Packers set to get the football first, and they are trailing on the scoreboard as we resume action, ready for the third quarter. Here comes Cobb. And he'll get it up just past the 20 as his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. For the Packers ready to go to start quarter number 3. And they're still very much in this game, although they do trail. What's the game plan, Charles, for the second half?
It might be a little counterintuitive because most people will think losing equals passing the ball more, but I'd establish the running game. They kind of went away from it in the first half. I think if they get back in balance, it'll help them when they put the ball back in the air.
Running on first down is Jones, but he's not going to get much, maybe a couple. And it's second down.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. On play action, Rodgers. That'll be complete to Allen Lazard. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. Had to put that ball in there with a little extra zip, but he put it right where it needed to be.
Yeah, and that little extra pace that he had on the pass, that required a little extra concentration for him, didn't it? Ball can get on you pretty quick in that manner, and he handled it well and picked up the first down.
Now a first down carry by Jones. And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
Second and 11. They'll go again to Jones. And boy, this burgundy and gold defense charged up now. They stop him behind the line again. A loss of 1, now a loss of 2, and they're staring at a 3rd and 13.
I see a shake of the head as he gets up, and you've got to imagine he's thinking, guys, you got to help me out. He's hoping his team can read his thoughts because he definitely needs some assistance.
A 3rd down now. Those last 2 plays indicative of how things have gone for them. Just nowhere to go on the ground and struggling to put up points. And that's complete to Adams. Oh, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. They'll get 11, but still a little short. 4th down.
There's another example where defensive coaches constantly preach, not allowing any run after the catch. They gave up a few more yards than they wanted to, but they were able to get him down quickly and force a 4th down.
On now is the Packers punter, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. Oh, it's a wobbler here. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. So here is Washington now to take over. Their win streak at 6 coming in and counting as they've got the lead right now, beginning this drive 1st and 10. Here's Gibson to start the drive. And shedding a man at the 40. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 155 yards rushing now for the NFL leader coming into this ball game.
And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over $150 now. And this defense has really had its problems trying to keep him contained.
And he'll be tackled right on the midfield logo. He'll get 8 on the keeper there. It'll be 2nd and a couple.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
On 2nd down, a run with Gibson. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down. Keep the sticks moving.
And down inside the 40 to about the 38. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him, so when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Under a minute to go in this 3rd quarter as they come up 1st and 10.
I think we're seeing the effect that runs like that are starting to have on this game. They're a little bit slower, that front 7, reacting to the football, almost like body blows in boxing, slowing them down, and they're really starting to take over in this game. That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
Oh, look at Thomas wide open. Touchdown! Logan Thomas, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And Washington able to stretch that lead out even further.
Partner, they had a good lead as they went in at the half, and they came out here in the 2nd half and found a way to extend it. I love their consistency. Don't worry about what they said at halftime. This seemed like a team that was ready to play 60 minutes, and while this game is far from over, I love their approach.
The extra point by Sly is up and good, and the lead is up to 18 now. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. And it was polished off by a Washington touchdown. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage.
After the penalty, it's Jones. And he's going to be stopped here for no gain. And that's going to take us to the end of the 3rd quarter of play. We have played 3 quarters. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now at Lambeau. It's the Packers who have the football but in need of points as we begin quarter number 4. And here's Jones again on 2nd down. And he'll find some space up to about the 25. It's a 7-yard gain that gets him back to the original line of scrimmage. 3rd and 10.
So much of the game today, we're looking for hybrid players, guys who can do a combination of jobs. And anyone who plays a strong safety position, now more than ever, is a hybrid type player. Half defensive back that covers passes and half linebacker that makes tackles.
And a powerful stiff arm. It frees him. How did he stay on his feet? And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Aaron Jones, not one of the bigger backs in the league, 5'9", 208, but he's definitely what you'd call a downhill runner, and he's able to shed the tacklers there for good yardage.
And that, in a nutshell, shows you what this guy is made of. I mean, most guys in the NFL just can't do that. He absorbed the contact, refocused himself, and made a break for the end zone.
And you can see the distance traveled there after the initial contact on the next-gen stats. In Washington territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 46. Throwing now is Rodgers. This one to the right, caught by Valdez-Scantling. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35.
I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Where's 52? Watch 52. 52's the mic.
Rodgers going to throw. Caught on the right side by Jones. No gain on the play. And that'll make it 2nd and 10. They couldn't get anything going there out on the right side of the flat of the swing pass.
And didn't we have a discussion with their staff about wanting to get the backs more involved in the passing game? Huge emphasis for this game.
And the Washington pressure gets to him, and he will go down. Jonathan Allen, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury.
Bring it! Bring it!
Rodgers now, after the sack, he'll lead the pack up on 3rd and long.
52's the mic, boys. 52.
Here's Rodgers. And this pass broken up. The contact well timed there, and now 4th down. Now Rodgers got to have this one. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And Washington will have it on the turnover on downs. That's another mistake there on the drop pass on 4th, and we've seen him do things like this all game.
It's not hard to figure out why they're down by that deficit. They haven't made plays that are going to keep them in the game or win the game all game long. That's another example right there. It all boils down at the end of it to execution. Either you make the play or you don't.
A good starting spot for Washington as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 43. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. 177 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. On 2nd down, here's Gibson again. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
On 1st down, Gibson. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line. I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call a timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get in behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. On 2nd down, it's Gibson. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line.
We got this.
He was taken down at the 10-yard line.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
Now we'll look at Smith. Not sure exactly what happened, but he's still down. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. The line of scrimmage, the 7 now on 2nd and goal. Shotgun handoff to Gibson. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Washington. Antonio Gibson with touchdown number 23 here on the year. And Washington going to add on to their lead.
Well, business as usual for them. Well on their way to another victory. Riding a serious wave of momentum from what we've seen. And so far, they haven't met their match. So if you're going to play this team in the future, your mission is clear. You better be ready to play and match their firepower.
Extra point by Sly is up and good. And they open the lead up now to 25. So that drive in total 8 plays. And in the end, it's capped off by a 7-yard run. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Here comes Cobb. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. Green Bay's offense ready to go again. And that unbeaten record very much in jeopardy. It's been a great first few months of the season so far, but they have run into a buzzsaw here, trailing big in the 4th quarter. Rodgers now on 1st down. And he cannot avoid the pressure as the Washington pass rush gets home. That's Daron Payne with a sack that time. But found his way into the backfield, and he simply would not be denied.
Well, they say that life's all about opportunities, and that holds true when you're playing defense as well. How about him seeing that chance, making the most of it, did a great job of wrapping him up and bringing him down.
A hole to dig out of here, 2nd and 17. Another try after the first down sack. Rodgers. He's got Tunyon complete over the middle. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. Now the Packers going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with an even 20 seconds left to go. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. To throw is Rodgers. Oh, trying to get that to Adams, but that's intercepted. Picked by Kendall Fuller, and his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. And that one, Charles, is just going to about wrap up what was no doubt a dominating defensive performance.
Yeah, I don't care what team it is. I don't care who you play, whether they're strong offensively or not. Just giving up 3 points in the NFL, that's absolutely a dominant performance and one that they can build on.
Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And it's all but certain that this win streak is going to extend another week. Just another tremendous performance in this one. And this is caught right along the sideline. What a job of keeping the toes in bounds there. A huge play there for Washington. But sometimes you just got to marvel at how these guys can throw the football. He gave that everything he had, and it was right on the money.
And that's how you start a drive, because you know they had this play in their back pocket, waiting for the right time to unleash it. And boy, did they pick the right opportunity, unleashed it big time, and that was also a big-time throw.
And that wound up traveling at even 58 yards in the air, according to Next Gen Stats. So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. So Allen's going to look to throw. He's going to go up top for the end zone. And this one almost intercepted. Had a chance to come down with it in the end zone, but could not hang on.
I like the thought process there. They connected on a big play, and sometimes you find the defense vulnerable. So they went for the bigger shot, went for it all on that one. This time, they were ready for it.
Thomas brings it in. And he takes it in for the score on the game's final play, so it doesn't affect the outcome, but a little whipped cream on top to their ending.
Or as our friends in Bayou Country would say, that's a little lagniappe, a little extra on top.
And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going, but it's not just their own confidence that is leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
So it's Washington getting the victory here. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So for one.